1914, by Philip Larkin. Those long, uneven lines, standing as patiently as if they were stretched outside the Oval or Villa Park. The crowns of hats, the sun on moustached archaic faces, grinning as if it were all an August bank holiday lark. And the shut shops, the bleached established names on the sunblinds, the farthings and the sovereigns, and dark-clothed children at play, called after kings and queens, the tin advertisements for cocoa and twist, and the pubs wide open all day. And the countryside not caring, the place names, all hazed over with flowering grasses and fields, shadowing doomsday lines, under wheat's restless silence. The differently dressed servants with tiny rooms in huge houses, the dust behind limousines. Never such innocence, never before or since, as changed itself to past, without a word. The men leaving the gardens tidy, the thousands of marriages, lasting a little while longer. Never such innocence again. For the Fallen, by Robert Lawrence Bignon. With proud thanksgiving, a mother for her children, England mourns for her dead across the sea. Flesh of her flesh they were, spirit of her spirit, fallen in the cause of the free. Solemn the drums thrill, death august and royal sing sorrow up into immortal spheres. There is music in the mist of desolation, and a glory that shines upon our tears. They went with songs into battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted, they fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. They mingle not with their laughing comrades again. They sit no more at familiar tables of home. They have no lot in our labour of the daytime. They sleep beyond England's foam. But where our desires are and our hopes profound, felt as a wellspring that is hidden from sight, to the innermost heart of their own land, they are known, as the stars are known to the night, as the stars that shall be bright when we are dust, moving in marches upon the heavenly plain, as the stars that are starry in the time of our darkness, to the end, they remain. Dulce et decorum est, by Wilfred Owen. Bent double, like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas! Gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone was still yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. In some smothering dreams, you too could pace behind the wagon we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear, at every jolt, the blood come gargling from froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie. Dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. Ah yes, war poetry. Every GCSE student's worst nightmare. Overdone to death at school, I'm sure. Yet, on the centenary of the 1918 Armistice, I believe a brief reflection is in order. Such ubiquitous writings from Owens, for example, provide first-hand depictions of horrors and tragedy one can scarcely imagine. Yet we struggle to consign to history, our lesson, by some, unlearnt. It is thus ever more important that we remember and confront the shadow of the human soul, and we mourn the countless years stolen on both sides, from those cast like lambs into the depths of a hell of our own creation. In our school, we are made to listen to a reading of the names of all the old students who were lost in the Great War in the Second. This carries on for minutes, and my mind wanders. My eyes cannot help but pore over the same list of names emblazoned on plaques that adorn the chapel walls. And it starts to rain, my cheeks inexplicably flushed and wet. Why? Shaken for men of a different time I will never know, their numbers so great that I would never manage to know them all. It is because it could have been us, my friends and peers that surround me, no more soldiers than they were, mere children going off to die instead of learning Year 11 poetry, dozing off in class, doodling in their exercise book, as is the right of every teenager. Of course, it is just as much a vice to shy away from necessary conflict as it is to beckon for it. Yet, we should never forget the lesson paid for in blood by those of all nations, sleeping in tomb empty or occupied. Never again, lest we forget.